Okay, and then there are government policy, industry, academia, collaboration, the continuous funnel can be built. So I think metro and non-metro, they actually don't compete, they can actually complement each other. Sure. And we have observed that most of the GCC are, open for hub and spoke model. Yeah. Like Rajesh has mentioned, they started Pune and Vadodara together, and I see this trend is accelerating now.
Yeah. Thank you for framing it that way. Honorable Minister, if I could bring you here, people have spoken about how AI and innovation is driving that. Recently, Andhra Pradesh, Google announced that Andhra Pradesh and Vizag would be the headquarters for their biggest data center expansion, which will drive AI capability. Just wanted to get your perspective of how the state is overall setting up the ecosystem for innovation ecosystem within the state.
No, I think we discussed threadbare on various facets of Tier 1, Tier 2 cities. But I think what we are missing is you need dreamers. You need people who believe, who are willing to dream and go about executing that dream. Now, the AI city, as we are now talking about it, right? If I had this conversation with you, Nilay, exactly a year back, you laughed at me. Is this even a possibility? Can we really get 6 gigawatts? 6 gigawatt of AI capacity coming to one city called Visakhapatnam. There were a lot of naysayers. They said water, power, infra. But then all it takes is a dreamer to dream it and go about executing it. And that's exactly what you're seeing here in Visakhapatnam. We spoke threadbare about talent and their ability and willingness to relocate, opportunities that are available across other cities in India, but frankly across the world. Honestly, it's no longer about certain cities competing amongst themselves, but competing with other countries. I think we are at that point. Now, what is going to be more and more important is to look at a very clear integration, which I call my vertical and horizontal integration, which I keep talking about pretty much in every session. Which is, it's not just about a data center alone. It's about how do I get all the 25x multiplier impact of a data center. If I need to achieve that, I need to build the ecosystem. Now, what do I mean by the ecosystem? The energy bit. I need to build the entire compute bit. There's a lot of opportunities for me to do manufacturing there. So these are the different components that I need to build in. That's one part. But the most important part is my horizontal, which is my core ministry, which is education. Now, I need to work with the industry titans on this side and look at how do we what is the talent requirement 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Because honestly, C++ relevance has gone down. But our ability to use AI in terms of programming and execution has become more and more important. But then that should not take us away from our critical analytical thinking. We can, with all due respect, outsource mundane activities to ChatGPT, Gemini, but not a critical analytical thinking. So that is where, as a HRD minister, I'm looking at where does the curriculum need to be and what is the kind of changes we need to be, which I believe will be a true competitive advantage for a state. So our ability to look ahead, look forward to the future and do it. But then end of the day, it's also about dreaming and dreaming big. So that's exactly what our Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu, is known for. And if all of you know him, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't let us sleep. So we are here to dream and get it done. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm sure nobody in the state of Andhra Pradesh talks about work-life balance. Yeah.
What is life? I think that would be the right answer. I'm sure my wife is watching this and I'll get into trouble, but she hasn't seen me for 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were talking about talent and talent outside of India, just got reminded about 3 weeks back, I was in San Francisco in a conference and it was on AI. And I was there for 2 days. there was not a single session which either did not have 50% or 25% of the people speaking from the state of Andhra Pradesh. And this was San Francisco. And I think that's the kind of talent we can actually leverage to grow the ecosystem that we're talking about in the state. But Sridhar, if I can come to you, yes, Vizag and IT are growing, but how do you see Vizag shaping IT for the country and not just being a IT service provider?
I think it's a great vision to have that sort of a leap. It's no longer it's a tier 2 city. It is something which is going to be shaping up the vision for the IT in the future. So that's a great vision. And to be very honest, I think Vizag has got all the basic ingredients for that, and Vizag is ready for that. And also, I don't want to talk about a lot of things already that's happening in Vizag. A lot of things are happening which will easily take it there. But some of the things which I want to call out is that one is that investment on R&D and investment on the patterns. So that's something which more focus on the investments for the R&D, which will easily position Vizag as a front runners for that. And the second one is that there is a lot of governance is going to happen on the AI world. And it's very important that the AP government shows that they are the leaders in the governance, policies, some of the laws which are going to be passed. If Vizag is able to, or AP is able to shape up those things, that will also help us in positioning right way. And the other one is that little more softer, but I think is we have to put AI as the front. Like everything, whether you build an infrastructure or office or everything is the AI first delivery model. Like a lot of us has adapted that. It's easiest, we always adapt. Now we adapted saying that AI is first delivery model, and we are going to be the largest AI company. And that sort of a mindset and building the AI native talent. A lot of us, maybe we will be thinking in a C++ related to AI, or we want to do native AI talents who will be able to think in the AI way. So that's why the curriculums in the colleges, as you said, Minister, like if you are able to, some of those curriculums which will build the native AI, native talent, that will be the some 2 or 3 things other than what already the government is doing in a big way.
Yeah. Thank you. Gaurav, if I can come to you and you've been cognizant for a long time. I've always been keen to understand how has the boardroom conversation changed in the last 5 years when you are now looking at tier 2 cities? And also, how do tier 2 cities become not just a center for delivery, but also innovation and R&D?
So I'll try and answer your first part of the question. I think if I roll back 5 years, first of all, I believe that we should stop using this term tier 2. Okay. We should just say emerging cities or emerging hubs or next gen or something like that. We really have to invent a more fanciful term for this. Okay. And that's what I believe. But I think the boardroom conversation, the strategy conversation has seen a dramatic shift, especially in the ITES sector. I can speak for ITES. 5 years ago, we would say that, we would go to tier 2 to be a support center for a so-called tier 1 or a mainstream hub, where we would probably look at back-end systems, back-end processes, or essentially cost arbitrage, severe cost arbitrage, and things like that. Or if there would be more secondary centers in real sense. In the last 2 to 3 years, especially after the COVID period, we have seen this narrative shifting to tier 2 or emerging hubs as an extension of what you're doing in mainstream, gravitating towards a talent catchment. That has really changed the narrative, because I think post-COVID, the industry woke up to the fact that we want to go where the talent is. And that narrative has also driven this whole network of emerging hubs, where we are seeing that they are no longer secondary locations. They are